Hello Oracle diehards, this is Justin, and in this Oracle YouTube tutorial I am going to show you how to unregister a target database with an RMAN recovery catalog. If you, in the other Oracle YouTube video titled How to Create an RMAN Recovery Catalog, I showed you how to register a target database with a recovery catalog. This video shows you the opposite, how to unregister a database with a recovery catalog. Now, there are two databases running on this computer system. A target database called Finance, which is the database that RMAN's going to back up and restore, and a target database, and a database, and that's the target database, Finance, and another database named Finance 2, which is the database we're going to use to house our rcat_finance schema, which is a user in the database, which has our recovery catalog information. So the RMAN metadata, not the backup data itself, but the data that describes the backup data, the RMAN backup data, is kept in two places. It's kept in the target database Finance's control file, and it's also kept in the recovery catalog Finance 2. Now, in this environment, both databases, the target database Finance and the recovery catalog Finance 2, both reside and are currently running on the same computer system. In a real-world environment, I would typically set up the RMAN recovery catalog and the target database on different systems. Otherwise, it defeats the purpose. So, to unregister our database Finance, which is currently registered in the Finance 2 recovery catalog, this is how we go about doing that. So first thing we need to do is we need to set the Oracle SID to our target database. So we do set Oracle SID to Finance. We ensure that it's set correctly. Echo Oracle SID Finance. Now we connect via RMAN to both the target database Finance and the recovery catalog Finance 2. And we do that by typing in the following. You go RMAN target / catalog rcat finance 123 at finance 2. So let's dissect this command for a bit. What we're saying here is we're calling the RMAN program. We're telling him that the target database is /, which means whatever the Oracle SID is currently set to, which is Finance. We're telling him to connect to. We're telling him that the catalog database. This is called the connect string in Oracle talk. The catalog database is called Finance 2. The user that you want RMAN to connect to the target database, to the recovery catalog database Finance 2 as is rcat_finance and use password finance123. It would help if I spelled it right. Alright. So we hit enter there. And RMAN starts and we log into the target database Finance and the catalog database simultaneously. Now, I ran 3 backups prior to recording this video, so we have something to work with. And there were 4 backup pieces per backup. So 4 times 3 being 12. That means there's 12 backup sets that we currently have to work with. So if we type in list backup summary and tell RMAN to show us all the backup sets created for this database Finance, he'll come back with the following list. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 backup sets. And if we do a list backup, we will actually see the backups themselves, what they are, a little bit more detailed information regarding them. Okay, so now we're going to log into the recovery catalog as the recovery catalog user that we created. And we type in SQL plus with no arguments. It's going to ask us for a username. And we type in rcat finance. And so it asks us for a password, finance 2. Oops, rcat finance 123. Sorry. Connected. Show user, we're connected as rcat_finance. Now if we type in the following, select name from RC database, we will see that the Finance database, okay, is registered in the recovery catalog. Remember, RC underscore database is a view that the create catalog command created. Okay, when we ran the create catalog command in that other YouTube video I was talking about. Okay, so we see that the finance target database is registered in this recovery catalog finance 2. And if we type in select count BS key from RC underscore backup underscore piece, this being another view, we will see that there's 12. So we see right off the bat that our recovery catalog is in agreement with what we saw in RMAN. So now we set our Oracle SID back to finance, and we connect via RMAN again to both the target database finance and the recovery catalog finance 2. And we type in unregister database. That's all you have to type in to, if I can spell it right, unregister database. So unregister the target database, which is finance, from the recovery catalog finance 2. So it's the exact opposite of what you did when you registered it, which is register database. And you're going to get this little prompt that says database name is finance and DBID is its 10-digit DBID. And then it's going to say, do you really want to unregister the database? Enter yes or no. So enter yes in this confirmation question. And it says database unregistered from the recovery catalog. So now we're going to set our Oracle SID back to and log into our recovery catalog as the RCAT finance user, finance123. And now when we issue the select name from RC database, we will see that no database, and especially this database, is registered in the recovery catalog. And when we count the databases, we will see, the database backup pieces, we will see that they are 0. Okay, so that's how you unregister a database from the recovery catalog. You type in the unregister database command. Now, if you wanted to re-register your database into the recovery catalog, you would just connect to both again, the target database finance and your recovery catalog, which in this case is finance 2, and you would just type in register database. And you'll see that let's look at these messages here. It says database registered in recovery catalog. Then it says start in full resync of recovery catalog, full resync complete. Now, what does that mean? Well, sync basically means copy, which means the same thing. So what that says is, what it's doing is it's copying. Remember how I said that the RMAN metadata about the RMAN backup is kept in 2 places: the target database's control file as well as the recovery catalog, if you're using a recovery catalog, but it's also kept in the control file, by the way. Well, what that's doing is, just because you unregistered the database doesn't mean that the RMAN metadata is gone because there's no recovery catalog. It's still in the control file. So when you do a registered database, what it's doing is it's looking at the control file and it's saying, oh, there's RMAN metadata. And it's synchronizing it, copying it from the control file to the recovery catalog. So now that you have registered your target database into a recovery catalog, that the RMAN metadata for the backups of that database are now in 2 places, the control file and the recovery catalog. So now, if we connect to our recovery catalog again as the finance user, RCAT finance, finance123, show user. And if we do select name from RC database, we will see that it's registered once again, and we will see that it now knows about the 12 backup sets again. Why? Because we unregistered when we unregistered the target database, it got rid of all the metadata records in the recovery catalog, but it didn't get rid of the records in the control file, because when we re-registered it again, it repopulated those records in the recovery catalog from the records in the control file. Now, let's say you have a scenario where you lost your, well, not lost, but the target database is inaccessible and you can't connect via RMAN. You don't have access to the RMAN program. You only have access to the target database's SQL Plus program. So you can only connect to the recovery catalog. You can't connect to, you only have access to the recovery catalog. So you can't connect to the target database at all, and you don't have access to RMAN. So how do you unregister a database that was left registered in the recovery catalog if you can't connect to RMAN, but you can only connect to the recovery catalog? Well, when you issued the create database command, and you also got some packages with that. And one of the packages that you got is called dbms_rcvcat. And this package has a procedure called unregistered database, all one word, which allows you to unregister a database from the recovery catalog itself, not from RMAN with the unregistered database command. So, but this procedure requires two values. So what you do is, we already know that we want to remove the finance database. We want to unregister that without RMAN from the recovery catalog. So we need to get to two values that procedure requires, and we do that with the following: select db key, comma, db id from rc_database. Now we got our db key and our db id. Now we execute the procedure that we need to unregister the database. We type in execute dbms_rcvcat .unregister database, and we give it its two values: 1601, which is the DB key it needs, and I'm going to cheat here, we also give it its 10-digit DB ID. PLSQL procedure completed successfully. Now when we do a select name from RC database, we see that nothing is registered. More specifically, the finance database isn't registered. And we see that our backup piece is 0. Okay. That is how you unregister a database, a target database from the recovery catalog. And remember, recovery catalog is nothing more but another Oracle database, and the metadata of the RMAN backup, not the backup itself, are kept in two places: the target database's control file as well as the recovery catalog. And when you're using the recovery catalog, through the lifetime of that environment, the RMAN, every time you connect via RMAN or do an operation and via RMAN, and RMAN sees that you're connected to a recovery catalog, he will constantly resync the control file and a recovery catalog. So they'll always be in sync and agreement and in agreement with each other. Okay? Thank you.